released in 2023 on Disney Plus. A totally uninteresting look behind the Star Wars curtain.
There's so few Jedi left. She's coming.
Our enemies are multiplying. The galaxy is not safe. I could use the help.
It's now or never. Once a rebel, always a rebel.
Hunt them down.
This is where it gets interesting.
Get ready. Ready.
Ready.
Once again, Disney Plus, or those who greenlight the stories and series and movies from the Marvel and Star Wars universe, have attempted to bring out of the shadows characters we might have caught a glimpse of in the original movies. This year's pick is the character Ahsoka, whose name was never mentioned in the original 7 episodes between Luke, Leia, Anakin, or Obi-Wan. We saw this character in the background battles, and her appearance was significant given the headdress, which one wonders is part of her physical makeup or just a headdress from her tribe. For the most part, that remains unexplained in the multi-part attempt to make interesting a character that is not. The actors do their part here, led by Rosario Dawson with appearances by Ray Stevenson on the bad side. But as always, the script is the thing. And this script is slow and dull and offers no buy-in as to exactly what our heroine and her associates are trying to save. Given today's computer-generated backgrounds, scriptures, creatures, and, yes, characters, it is essential to have a story that one can suspend enough belief in to sit and watch for hours on end. Ahsoka is simply not one of those TV shows. This is not worth your subscription. Ahsoka, released in 2023 on Disney Plus, 6 of 10 stars. How the West Was Won, HBO, Max, Cinemax, or Max as they call it now, released in 1962. A glance back at a time when filmdom was nearly all white men and women did their part.
Carl Malden and Agnes Moorehead, and their daughters Carol Baker and Debbie Reynolds, who left the frontier for a gayer life. There were the good and the bad, river pirates like Walter Brennan, notorious desperados like Charlie Gant, portrayed by Eli Wallach, and Lee J. Cobb as the dauntless U.S. Marshal who tracked him down. There were the gamblers and the entertainers. Gregory Peck is Cleve Van Valen, lucky in cards and in love. There was Robert Preston as the wagon master who loved in vain, and Thelma Ritter, a friend in need. Here, too, were the North, Andy Devine, and the South, Russ Tamblyn, and the famous of history, John Wayne as General William Tecumseh Sherman, Henry Morgan as General Ulysses S. Grant, and Raymond Massey as Abraham Lincoln. George Peppard is Zeb Rawlings, who brought the law to the West, and Carolyn Jones portrays Julie Rawlings, whose courage matched that of her fighting husband.
This is a film that is worth your time, especially if you are a movie fan. No, it's not for everyone, but with directors John Ford, Henry Hathaway, and George Marshall taking 3 different points of view in the era before the Civil War, during the Civil War, and immediately after the war, today's civil libertarian can get a good perspective on why some people have a yearning for the good old days and the desire to make America great again. Every major star and co-star in Hollywood at the time got a major or bit part in this epic. Yes, John Wayne is in it, but not for long. And believe it or not, carolers like Debbie Reynolds received an extraordinary amount of screen time for the second-class citizens that women were depicted in many of these films. There are no black actors here. The Indians shown are apparently quite authentic, as none of the actors who played Indians on television at the time, see The Lone Ranger and later Daniel Boone, were too handsome to be depicted here. How the West Was Won is full of song and dance. That's where the women actors shine, with multiple choruses and grand sing-alongs. from the motion picture impresarios of the time, Alfred Newman, Johnny Mercer, and others. One can't help but sing along and feeling some pride in the characters depicted here. Animals, principally the horses, had to be as good as stunt actors as the stunt men were, as this film was made before animal rights were ingrained in filmmaking. The camera direction by William H. Daniels, Milton R. Krasner, Charles Lang, and Joseph Lichell is first class for the times, with special and visual effects making this a sure bet for the 3 Oscars awarded at the time. By today's standard, including 1962, this is a long film at nearly 3 hours. It contains an opening chorus, the complete cast and production credit roll, all of this before the film begins, an intermission, a closing chorus that is, and the end credit simply says exit. The actors not named in the opening credit roll were the hundreds of buffaloes shown in the stampede, the Indian tribe and tribal leaders who we assume were at least paid scale, the minimum wage at the time. It's a good film, but in order to view it through 2023 eyes, you will need to adjust your thinking. How the West Was Won can be seen on HBO and Max, made in 1962, 8 of 10 stars. The Whale, released in 2022, now seen on Paramount Plus. The star of this tale of woe deserved his Oscar.
These rules can feel constraining, but remember, the point of this course is to learn how to write clearly and persuasively. Think about that. Think about the truth of your argument. You're an amazing person, Ellie. I couldn't ask for a more incredible daughter.
Are you actually trying to parent me right now?
Who would want me to be a part of their life?
You don't stay in touch with Mom?
She really only tells me things about you.
Why?
Because that's all I want to know about.
Why'd you gain all that weight?
Someone close to me passed away, and it had an effect on me.
You haven't seen her since she was 8 years old and you're gonna reconnect with her?
Sorry.
I don't like this. This isn't a good idea.
I'm sorry.
You say you're sorry one more time, I will shove a knife right into you, I swear to God.
Go ahead. What's it gonna do? My internal organs are 2 feet in at least.
Why do you suddenly need to see her so bad? Why now?
Liz. I'm worried that she's forgotten what an amazing person she is. I need to know that she's gonna have a decent life, where she cares about people, and that she's gonna be okay. I need to know that I have done one thing right with my life.
This is not for everyone, but every movie lover should see this tale of a man in crisis and the family around him looking for answers and the ever-present question, why? Brendan Fraser, who for years carried the Mummy franchise to new heights, took a major leap from that treasure-hunting character in search of North African artifacts with a wife and son to being a man alone in a room teaching an online writing class to college students who never see him. Again, director Darren Aronofsky and writer Samuel D. Hunter don't waste words here. The cast of 5 allows the viewer to be witness to a conversation and not just actors reciting lines. One can feel the tension, sadness, anger, fear, and love that come from each of the words written and the portrayals done so well by Sadie Sink, Ty Simpkins, and Hung Chow. But it is Fraser whose face that dominates every scene that allows the viewer to read into it what you will. Yes, the prosthetics department is to be credited with putting together a fat suit that is quite believable. And might I note, there are several people across the country who live in this state of affairs. So this is not fantasy or sci-fi flicking, but a study in character that was well done. No music, a simple set with 4 rooms, 6 on-screen characters, and the faces of the students on the Zoom call. Yes, lines from Moby Dick are quoted quite often here, but only from the viewpoint of Captain Ahab. It's worth your subscription and time, and you don't have to sit through the 2 hours in one sitting. Take your time. The Whale, released in 2022, now seen on Paramount
10
Plus.
stars.
9 of 10 stars.